You've checked all the boxes. You have the job, the relationship, and the social standing you were told to aim for. Yet you wake up at 3 in the morning with an inexplicable exhaustion that sleep cannot fix. It is a specific, gnawing sensation. You look around at the life you built, and you feel like an imposter in your own home. When we hit this wall, society hands us a standard prescription. We are told to exert self-control, double down on our morals, and work harder at being perfect. We assume that if we just firmly lock away our messy desires and raw ambition, they will eventually quiet down. We think the reward for all this suppression will be peace. This pursuit of goodness is the mechanism causing the architecture of your identity to fail. The walls you built to keep your life orderly are beginning to crack. The harder you strive to be a perfectly good version of yourself, the more powerful your shadow becomes. Your exhaustion has little to do with your workload. You are tired because you are burning 90% of your energy just to keep the lid on the pressure cooker of your own nature. You've been trying to run a marathon while holding your breath. To survive this, you have to do the exact opposite of what you were taught. You have to stop trying to be good and start being real. Carl Jung was the architect who first mapped this hidden internal war. From infancy, we are taught to curate our personalities. We keep traits that earn a smile and hide parts that trigger a cold shoulder. Jung called this public-facing identity the persona, the Greek word for a static theater mask. Everything you deemed unacceptable, your aggression, your weirdness, your raw desires, is relegated to the shadow. This is a subterranean reservoir of energy fed by your denial. When the shadow is ignored, it projects itself onto the world. This is why you find yourself irrationally angry at a coworker, or why you keep attracting the same toxic partners. The external conflicts you fight are internal echoes. You are meeting your own rejected self in the mirror of your reality. We often think of the shadow as a basement full of monsters like greed and shame. But Jung identified the golden shadow as well, the psychological reality that your best traits are also locked away because society deemed them too much. This suppression has a high price. When you bury your aggression, you bury your ambition. When you suppress your weirdness, you kill your genius. You are currently hiding a titan inside a cardboard box. Your current identity cannot contain what is trying to emerge. This crisis is the sound of that box being torn open from the inside. In alchemy, this is the nigredo phase, the necessary rotting away of the old self to make room for the new. Resisting this dismantling causes you to stagnate. You become a ghost in your own machine, watching your life happen from the sidelines. Surviving this transition requires an active, radical act of reclaiming your stolen property. When you acknowledge your envy, you reclaim your competitive drive. When you admit to your anger, you reclaim your boundaries. You do not defeat the shadow by fighting it. You defeat it by making it your ally, channeling its raw energy into your conscious purpose. The dark night of the soul is the moment the light of the persona fails, allowing the brilliance of the true self to finally become visible. The goal is individuation, to stand in the world as a singular expression of yourself rather than a character in someone else's play. A whole person is inherently dangerous to the status quo. Because they no longer fight themselves, they can no longer be manipulated. The moment you turn off this screen, your old environment will demand you return to the safety of your mask. Staying awake in a society built for your smaller self requires a persistent daily discipline. Your journey from survival to impact has only just begun. Stay dangerous. Stay whole. Choose to be real over being good.